Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to the PHLY Flyers Postgame Show presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me, yes, that's right, it's Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. Another solid performance for the Flyers.
Heck of a rebuild game.
Yeah, it was. Honestly, if you are of that ilk of fan who is pro tank, they lose in regulation. Great game from TK. One of the best games Michkov has played in like a month.
Good, yeah.
Hard to disagree. Hard to not like the effort you get out of the Flyers tonight. They lose 3-2 to the Toronto Maple Leafs in their homecoming, first home game since December 21st after the Disney on Ice trip. But they outshoot the Leafs 32-17. I thought they played really well. It was a good game for the Flyers.
Yeah.
It's hard to blame Ivan Fedotov for this one. I thought it was another solid performance for him. Yes, he allows 3 goals on 17 shots. The numbers aren't great. The first one, I thought maybe he could have been a little further out. It's an absolute snipe by John Tavares.
Goal, yeah, that was a real good
far
shot.
side. Thought maybe he could have come out a little, maybe to cut down the angle, but he's given up some short side goals. Maybe he didn't want to be vulnerable there. I liked it, but we have to start with Matvei Michkov tonight. Quite an eventful game for Matvei Michkov right off the jump. He has a review in the first period on like a bad angle shot. He's kind of in all alone, throws it on net. And Joseph Woll is backing up, and they review it to see if it actually crossed the line as he pinned it to himself. It didn't. But in the first period, that line was all over the place.
Yeah.
Michkov, 3 shots on goal, 4 attempts. Frost had a shot on goal. Lawton had 1 shot on goal with 2 attempts. And Tortorella noticed it, started them in the second and third period. Of course, the opening shift of the third period, Michkov skates directly into Scott Lawton, who's trying to carry the puck out of the zone.
The two of them, like full bore.
They just
ran into each
collide into each other, like head-on collision. Both eventually get pulled. Looked like Mish was skating it off a little, and Lawton was down for a bit.
Mish had a big
head
on his face.
Looks like he hit his face on Lawton's visor.
Yeah.
Eventually, Lawton comes back, but it's like, Michkov got pulled too. He misses about 15 minutes of the third period, but does eventually come back, and we get the image on the bench when he rejoins his line mate Scott Lawton.
Oh, look at him!
We get the kiss of team leader and all-around good guy Scott Lawton welcoming Michkov back. You know, Mish was probably trying to be like, my bad, dude.
Yeah.
Like, we just kind of ran into each other.
You can't ever trade him.
He picked up right where he left off. He was all over the place. Ends up with, what was it? I know through 2 periods he had 7 shots on goal, and the entire Leafs team had 9. He finishes with 8 shots on goal and 11 attempts.
Dang.
His career high was 5 in the 2-goal game he had against Edmonton, like game 3 of the season. He was everywhere tonight.
Yeah.
His biggest play, though, sets up the game winner cross-ice pass to Owen Tippett. Owen Tippett staring at a wide open net off this Michkov setup. And this is the Tippett that drives us insane. Misses a wide open net. Would have tied the game late in the third period. Somehow misses it. But this was
so good at doing that.
Overall, a very encouraging game for the getting back on track Matvei Michkov.
Yeah, you have to think he's going to score a goal soon. Like, you just can't keep playing like this. And I'm not going to say they got goalied tonight. I think that's like a little bit of a stretch. But Woll was really on it tonight. And the Flyers definitely had a lot of opportunities, like the one that you just described, that they probably could have capitalized on. But if Michkov keeps playing with this kind of jump,
he's going to score.
He's going to score. Like, it's going to happen.
It's, Joseph Woll, 30 saves on 32 shots, gives up the 2. But late in the third, it was absolutely all him keeping that game from going to overtime at the very least. Mm-hmm. But my biggest takeaway from this game is, one, thank God Michkov and Lawton both come back. Doesn't look like they're too messed up. Just a little abrasion there, little road rash for Mish on the face, and I think the cheek and the forehead. It looked like.
Sometimes I don't know what happens in that dark room though. Like, how is Scott Lawton not concussed? He was staring at the ice for a solid 3 minutes.
Maybe
I'm not moving.
Maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him.
I'm sure he did, but also
he didn't see it. Like Mish at least saw
the bells were both ringing. On both of those dudes.
Bells were ringing. But Mish was at least able to brace himself a little. He got his hand up, saw it coming, but that was a full on almost blindside shot that Lawton took. But neither seemed
But
injured.
apparently they're both fine.
Yeah, both fine. They both came back. And Michkov, only 14:27 of ice time, which has driven people nuts. But he missed about 15 minutes of the third period. He would have played 20 minutes tonight. The coach very much saw that he had it going.
Clearly,
Started a power play with the Cates line. He actually put that group out there. I saw him out there with the other power play units. So they're finding ways to get him on the ice and taking advantage of a game where, listen, he hasn't had his legs a ton lately. That's been apparent. Tonight he did, and the coach was like, give me all the Mish.
That's
great.
That's extremely encouraging because, sometimes John Tortorella leaves you wondering, what is happening in your brain. So it's good to know that if he sees a guy at least trying and really putting out the effort and really getting the chances and playing his best, but it's just not going in, good to see that he's going to reward that with more ice time because Michkov needs to be on the ice as much as he possibly can.
You just see it. He turns nothing into something. He has that little chance where he just throws it on net and it handcuffs Woll. Woll's backing up. And did it go in? No. They had to review it, though. They had to take a look because he saw before anyone else. Goalie's backing up. I could hit him in the chest with this and it'll count as a goal.
Yeah.
And it almost did. A few chances. There was power play one-timer on a nice cross-ice pass that Woll just made a really good stop on, got over. Impressive game.
Very good.
No goals, no assists, but one of his most noticeable games in a month.
Exactly,
and
very encouraging.
Thank God. Because I really don't want to have the what is wrong with Michkov conversation.
I don't
Listen, he's 20. We're hearing how he's struggling with, I don't know if it's fair to call it conditioning because I think that implies he's not working hard enough.
Yeah, it implies some kind of failure on his part.
The schedule is brutal. Mm-hmm. The NHL schedule is far different than what you get in the minors, what you get overseas, the physicality of the game, as we see tonight, because the league has allowed open season on Matvei Michkov.
What is the deal?
Draws a late penalty on a hook, puts them on the power play late in the game. And then Oliver Ekman-Larsson just comes over and cross-checks him.
Blatant.
After the whistle, cross-check.
You look it up in the dictionary.
All of it illegal.
That's a cross-check.
And they just go, nah, it's cool.
Nah. Yeah. We already called one on them, so we can't
we're not.
Call
what are we
gonna
get him for
one.
two?
We can't call them for two.
Where's the line? If he pulls out a knife, is it a penalty?
I know. And are we really still mad at this kid for the whistle thing? Are we still doing this? Because nothing else makes sense to me.
We're getting a lot of Twitter comments that are like, the league won't stop this until Celebrini has walked away with the calder because obviously of the anti-Russian pro-Canadian bias, which I agree with, honestly. I think there is.
Yes.
I don't know if it's purposeful even. It's just I don't know.
The NHL
doesn't.
100%.
They're already celebrating one Russian against their.
Will fix.
They have to.
We can't have two Russians in the spipotlight in one season.
They have to have Ovi in the spotlight because he's the greatest goal scorer of all time. And if not for the league's own incompetence, he'd already have the record and be en route to 1,000.
Yeah.
But we already see Four Nations. Guess who ain't in the Four Nations? That team. And listen, there are reasons.
Best hockey nation.
Are there reasons? Sure. Are they good reasons? I don't know. It's not like they're suspended. It's not a IHF event. But I digress. That was an absolutely ridiculous.
For a regular show,
that's a tomorrow topic. We can piss Charlie off with that tomorrow. That'll be a lot of fun. Fun show tomorrow coming up at 4:00. Make sure you tune in. But I am just. I don't want to say over the moon with what I saw out of Michkov tonight because I don't know, score a goal. and wildly unfair of me to say.
I mean, to be fair, he would have had a primary assist on the game-tying goal if someone could hit an open net once in his life.
And it wasn't just scoring chances. He was all over the place in this game.
He looked great.
And that final power play, keeping the possession alive with a hit, keeping it alive, catching up to someone from behind and getting a poke check in there so forechecker could get in and grab the puck. He had his legs tonight. He was all over the place. And if we see a few more out of this like him, I can't imagine we'll be like, wow, where's his offense going for a whole lot longer, Hinkle.
If not Thursday, Saturday, for sure.
I hope everybody was following the pregame bets tonight. There was only one official bet.
Somebody knocked it out of the park tonight, fam.
But Travis Konecny opens the scoring for the team.
100% correct on
Looked
the bets
like
tonight.
and that was my only bet tonight, was an anytime goal for TK. Opened the scoring. I thought at first Hathaway tipped it. From some angles, it looked like he did. And from some angles, it looked like he wasn't close. I have no idea. They gave it to TK for his 19th. And if you remember me saying, though, 14-1, 2 or more goals for TK tonight.
That.
He was sitting on 18. He now has 20. 6th career 20-goal season for TK. He gets that second one on. An absolutely awesome play on the forecheck by Noah Cates to poke a puck loose, win a battle, get it to TK in front. He goes backhand 5-hole for his 20th. And I am very, very happy for Travis Konecny. I still don't know if the thought process behind the contract extension made 100% sense. But as I keep telling everyone else, it's not about what we would do. It's about their plan. And what their plan is to build on the current culture. We are 41 games into the year now. That is the halfway point. So this is real easy math. Travis Konecny is on pace for 40 goals.
Pretty good.
This is a team with no centers. He is playing with Ryan Poehling right now.
Right.
And Noah Cates sets up the second goal tonight. What are we talking about right now? Listen, I want to talk about Noah Cates later in the show. He's been really good for this team. 4 straight games with an assist, all over the place. It's Noah Cates.
Imagine TK and Michkov, and I guess, to be fair, Owen Tippett with, an actual NHL center.
A guy who puts them on,
like a good center.
Dudes who are really good in the
Claude
offensive.
Giroux.
Yeah. That was when G started to fade. It was well, what does he still do well? Everything. Oh, he's awesome in the offensive zone. Yeah. Great distributor, creates scoring chances when in the offensive zone. How do we get him there? Oh, we have this play driver in Sean Couturier. Is he the best offensively? No. But they're going to be there so much, he'll put up numbers. And that's what happened. That's what I'm seeing with a lot of these wingers right now, as frustrated as I am with Tippett after that miss. A whole bunch of guys who are pretty decent without any play-driving centers outside of freaking Noah Cates.
Yeah.
And
Noah Cates is our best center.
It just gives you a little optimism about what these guys can be when they're on offense with equally skilled centers. I think that's the best way to put it. Because I like Ryan Poehling in a role. I like Noah Cates right now a lot, and I like him in a role. Not these roles.
Noah Cates should not be your best center.
No. If Noah Cates is your best center, you should be picking first, and this team's going to pick 12th. Yeah. That's just what's going on right now. But, man, I'm just happy for Travis Konecny because this guy, years 2, 3, and 4, 24 goals exactly 3 consecutive seasons. Then he had that little drop, and it's right around the pandemic, and the team's kind of falling apart. We see that. He has now come back with 33, 31, and now halfway through a season, 20 goals. Hell yeah, TK.
Dude, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good, and the contract that he got is 100% what he's worth. And honestly, I no longer have any negative feelings about them giving it to him.
No.
We don't want to be both. By we, I mean Danny Briere and Keith Jones, and also me specifically, don't want to be the Chicago Blackhawks. We don't want to go that far into the hole. And so to avoid doing that, you have to have some good players. And Travis Konecny is probably going to age pretty well. He'll probably be able to keep putting up points well into the back half of this contract. And he's going to be, the Joe Thornton on this team. He's going to be a guy that continues to be good, leading the young guys Like he's not always going to be like the guy. Right now he's the guy. Hopefully he's not always going to be, but I think that his presence on the team, as good as he is, the leadership that he provides on the ice, it's good for the team. Like it just is, and I don't know how you could argue otherwise at this point.
And that's the he's the guy. It's so
right
obvious,
now he's
like
the
you
guy,
said.
yeah.
He's the #1 player on this team. I love Michkov. There's some guys who've come a long way, but like
Michkov will be the guy.
He'll
He's
be the
not
guy,
yet,
and
yeah.
hopefully there's someone else too.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at TK right now, like 21 minutes even tonight. The other night, 19:41, 19 at Vegas, a low number for him, 17:31 against San Jose, over 20 against LA and Anaheim. Maybe, like part of helping him age well will be, you don't have to play 20 minutes a night.
No, yeah.
There's other dudes, but right now it's all him.
Right.
And yeah, he only had, I think, 2 goals in his previous 8 coming into tonight. It's not like he's not putting up some points here and there, but a little bit of a slump for him. Those 2 goals came in 1 game. But you just see it. He does it again.
Mm-hmm.
As I said in pregame, he's had kind of a thing for 2-goal games this year,
right.
and he did it again in a night where they badly needed the offense. They outshoot and outpossess Toronto, but you just see there.
And he got real close to that Hattie, too.
He did. No, he had another chance in the third that Woll made a nice stop on. But you just then look at, the goal scorers again for Toronto, just like you saw the other night. Who is it? John Tavares, his 20th. Austin Matthews. And Matty Nyes, who's on, I think he's got 5 goals in his last 3 games or something. He gets the winner, and that's from Riley and Myers. Good for Phil Myers.
Do you think that John Tavares wears the amulet under his uniform?
I really hope he does.
I hope he does, too.
Yeah.
I would like to get an amulet for Matvei Michkov. It seems to work.
I mean,
it's working for Johnny T.
It's working for John Tavares for all the they stripped. I think a lot of people know the amulet.
Know about the amulet.
The amulet story broke through.
Yeah, I think
and that's not just an online thing now.
No,
also
knows
like we're an online show.
That's
everyone knows about.
You guys know what the amulet is.
Yeah, I am. But I am just hoping TK, like you see it. We see it with Giroux right now. Not the guy, but still counted on to do some stuff, and he's really good. You see it for John Tavares. Is he still a superstar? No. But 20 goals. Like he's a good player. He's on the same goal pace as TK is right now. Maybe he's able to age that way as long as he's able to avoid major injury. And while we're talking, no, actually, it's
about
not.
Major injuries?
No, I thought it was Bet365, but it's not. We are going to talk to you about our friends at Game Time. I had a whole thing.
You're doing great.
That's right. It's Game Time, baby. I love Game Time. It's where I get all of my tickets on the secondary market. I always check Game Time first, and it's because of Game Time Picks. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets for the absolute best value. You see it right there with Game Time Picks. But it's not just that feature. There's so many others, like the all-in pricing, no surprises there with the price, the seat view, same thing. You won't be surprised when you get to the venue. You'll have already seen your seat, plus the low price guarantee and the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. And while we're here, I got to tell you about our friends at Rothman Orthopedics, because if you have aching joints or cramping hands or your back's out of whack, Rothman's got you. At Rothman Orthopedics, they've been practicing specialized care. It's been their passion for over 50 years. Their mission is high-quality, compassionate, and affordable care rooted in research leading to new treatments and better outcomes, because each Rothman doc is laser-focused on their specialty. Whether it's hip, knee, spine, you name it, they have a team for each body part right in your backyard. They're Rothman Orthopedics. They specialize in you, specializing in you and orthopedics. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to learn more and make an appointment today. Yeah, I thought it was Bet365. So, now we're talking about TK, and then it wasn't.
That's all right.
I tried. They can't all be winners.
Could have gone right into Rothman with the speaking of debilitating injuries.
Yeah, I wish.
Next time.
Damn it, Hanks. Good job. Good job. Now you're thinking. Yeah, so TK, it's really fun watching him when he's on also, because he's throwing hits out there. He's playing a ton of minutes. He is the emotional leader of this team. Sean Couturier wears the C. Scott Lawton's kind of the just like guy in the room who brings everybody in. But TK is the absolute best lead by example guy.
He's like the engine.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the engine driving this team.
When he plays well, they have a real good chance. And he played damn well tonight. Couple of goals for him. On pace for 40. Again, on a team with no centers. But the one center they have going right now, it's Noah Cates.
Dude.
This guy.
The setup on that goal.
I'm so happy for Noah Cates because he is a dude, like we've said a lot in the last few weeks. Coming into the season in the first month or so, we're talking about Lawton, we're talking about Paling, we're talking about Cates. These guys kind of all feel redundant. They all kind of, okay, they're bottom six. Lawton can play some wing, so he's a little different. But utility guys, fourth liners, what do they really give you? Right. Why do you need all three?
Right, they're just guys. They were the just a guy guys.
Cates has really refound the form he had from 2 years ago when he was functionally the team's 1C, and now he basically is again. He
keeps playing his way up there.
That's an assist in 4 straight games, and in his last 13 games, Henkel, 6 goals, 6 assists. 12 points in 13 games.
That's wild.
For Noah Cates. That is the pace he's on right now. Do I think he's a point-a-game player? I seriously doubt it. But
the numbers would suggest that he is.
When you look at last year now, I am willing, he could fall off tomorrow. Who the hell knows? Yeah. It's the Flyers. We have bad luck all the time. Yeah. I thought Michkov was going to be like, he's out for the season. Like, I really thought that was happening tonight. But he comes back and almost sets up what should have been the game tire. But anyway, Noah Cates, play on the forecheck, and it's like so well timed. For a number of reasons. It's 4-on-4, about to turn into a Toronto power play, which they ultimately scored on to retie the game. So, thank God they got this. But he's in on the forecheck, creates a play to get the puck out to TK. TK buries it for his second. I am now willing to look at last year as got off to a little bit of a slow start, didn't really have anywhere near the role he did the year prior, and then suddenly gets hurt, has to restart his season. And he's on the fourth line. No disrespect to those guys, but playing with Paling and Delorier is a lot different than playing with even Forster and Brink.
Right.
Which it's not even like it's TK all the time, the way he made the play tonight. But it's Forster and Brink who at least have some offensive upside. And it's really paying off. We're trying to find roles. It's all about information gathering and seeing how we can slot guys in moving forward. I really think this creates a role for him as at least the 3C on this team. He's 25. It's not like he's got so much more of a ceiling to go.
Yeah.
But what does this team need so badly? I've said 10 times tonight, they have no centers. You see Jet Luchenko coming. Maybe he's a 1C. To me, I'm hoping he's a really good 2. And then you slot Cates in as that 3C who's got that really good two-way play. We called him Mini Coots. Coots Jr., Coots Light in that rookie year of his where he had 30-some points. Maybe this is who he is. It's more of what we saw that first year and this year than what it was last season.
Yeah, I was going to say, based on the available information that we have, there's more reason to believe that this version of Noah Cates is the real version than what we saw last year. And honestly, the Forster Cates Brink line, I feel like when this team is good, if that's the third line, I'm not mad at it. Maybe you could get somebody a little bit better than Brink on that wing. I love Bobby Brink, but he's not doing it. But that line is a pretty sick third line. They get in there and they get stuff done. So Noah Cates, I think when this team is good, I'm going to be very pleased if Noah Cates is our 3C.
Yeah, absolutely. If he continues down this path, he absolutely is really starting to separate himself, like I said earlier, from that group of guys. We're where do they slot in? What is their role? How vital to this thing are they? Are they just taking up a spot because we have no one else? You see a path now for Noah Cates, and that's really good. I'm glad you mentioned that right wing spot with Bobby Brink. I'm a big Bobby Brink fan.
I love him.
I really hope he turns into a guy because, listen, we see what Cole Caulfield's doing, and we were told, we want that little goal scorer, but we got York and we got Brink, and maybe we got both. Maybe we got the defenseman and the forward we need in that draft. I doubt he becomes, what Cole Caulfield has been.
No, but I would take, 75% of Cole Caulfield.
The Frost line played its best game in a while, especially since it's become Frost, Lawton, and Mish. But I was thinking tonight, I know they don't want to break up the Cates line. Mish is playing with them on the power play a lot. Maybe you find him a shift with Cates and Forster to see how that goes.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd hate it. Now, it's not an especially fast line. Like Mish, not the most fleet of foot. Obviously, Forster is a little slower. I think he's added a little bit of speed this year, but I wouldn't mind seeing it, is all. I'm not in a big rush to break up the Cates line right now, but they're producing so well. What if you gave them Matvei Michkov?
Right.
Like, all of a sudden, it might be a viable first line on a mediocre team.
No, and I mean, I don't obviously physically fast, no, but I feel like all three of those guys think the game really fast and can probably get the puck moving in a very fast way. Maybe not so much with the skating, but with the decision making that they can make on the ice.
The puck will always move faster than you can skate.
Yeah.
Unless you're Owen Tippett and skating faster than Connor McDavid at some points. But
and still missing the net.
Yeah, well, still missing that. But that was I just seeing Morgan Frost out there. And I thought that line played better than it has in a little bit. But there were 2 or 3 different times where Michkov got the puck to Frost, and Frost had a chance to get it right back to him in a give and go type play. Michkov gets it in the zone, gets it over to Frost. Mish drives the net, or he's across ice, and Frost just sees it a little late.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's gone. I was like, is Noah Cates as skilled as Frost? No. But can he think faster? Maybe. Maybe that's the thing.
It's so weird because I feel like Frost used to make those decisions so well. I don't know what happened to him, man.
I think playing with Michkov, while they are, I won't say of equal skill, but of similar level, just puck skill, hockey ability, puck on stick, it's showing how much Frost kind of lacks in that regard of thinking and Michkov, again, we've called him a supercomputer in the past.
Yeah, he's a genius.
He's not that. He can't think it that way. And maybe putting Michkov with Cates and Forster, like you said, they don't think the game the same way, but they think it very well.
Yeah.
And maybe that would lead to a little bit more.
Can't hurt to try.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst idea, but we'll see how quickly they're interested in breaking up the Cates, Forster, and Brink line.
It's probably a tough sell on Tortorella at this point.
Here's a question I have for you, just something quick. They eventually get another power play, and they had a bunch of chances late, so maybe it wasn't the best idea. But they get a power play with 5.5 minutes left. Should they have gone 6-on-4 right there? It's only a 1-goal game. I don't know how many coaches in the league would do that, but it was something I was thinking.
I mean, the nerds say pull the goalie as early as you possibly can.
Coaches hate the idea
they don't like that.
Extend the game. They always... It drives me nuts in football when a team's down 10 and it's well, they're going to need a field goal too, so you might as well kick it here. It's yeah, but they're also going to need a touchdown, and there's no guarantee they get this close again. It drives me nuts, but I feel coaches love the idea of extending a game.
Yeah, Torts has pulled the goalie pretty early before.
Relatively early, that minute 40, minute 20 mark was the old thing in a 1-goal game, and he's done it with 3 minutes left, 2:40 left a few times this year. Even earlier in 2-goal games, he's done it way early a few times. I was thinking maybe it was a choice he could have made, but as you saw the rest of the game play out, they had a bunch of chances. So perhaps they score on that power play, and now you can win it in regulation.
Yeah,
but it didn't play out that way. The Leafs end up winning it. But I take a lot more positives than negatives away from 100%. This one. And another one of those positives, it is Ivan Fedotov. Team played great in front of him. That is without a doubt. Were there some mistakes? Absolutely. But you held the Maple Leafs with their full complement of, awesome forwards to 17 shots on goal.
Not bad.
I do think sometimes the actual shot on goal numbers don't fully reflect the possession time for the Flyers.
Yes.
Because they do such a good job of clogging the middle, blocking shots. They spend more time in the D zone. It's 17 shots. The Flyers must have had the puck the whole game. And like they didn't. They played very well. But they didn't dominate possession in this one the way maybe the shots would lead you to believe.
In the first period, like halfway through, the Leafs still had like 0 shots on goal. I was like, they have no shots on goal? That's wild because they did have the puck for a bunch of time.
They had a decent amount of possession time. They had Toronto goes on the power play with 9:05 left in the first, more than halfway through the first period. They had no official shots on goal at that point. They didn't get a shot on the power play. Toronto's first official shot on goal came with 5:37 left in the first period. And it's Max Domi on like a side angle shot. Fedotov hugs the post to make the save. 2 shots in the first period for the Maple Leafs. And I think one was like a distance dump with like 20 seconds left where they just like kind of threw it down the ice.
Yeah.
It was a really strong defensive effort for the Flyers who know if they're going to have a chance in these games with these goalies. Listen, Fedotov, that .824 save percentage, I don't know if that reflects how good he was tonight. He made a bunch of saves.
I thought he looked pretty solid.
He looked okay. He's doing some wacky stuff out there still.
He looks like a crazy person. At one point, you mentioned he threw his stick like Dominic Hasek.
Yeah, I was like, what?
It was outstanding.
Where's his stick?
And then he was like, I don't need that.
They show the replay, and it's not like he got like someone drove by and took it out.
Like, don't
he
need
was just
this.
like, yeah, I'm gonna try to use both hands to stop this.
Floppity all over my crease. He's crazy. I want him to be good. Because he's a crazy person.
He's fun to watch.
He's fun
ridiculous.
To watch. It's absurd. At one point, he made a save, and then for some reason, like rolled over. Like he didn't just get up like a normal adult man. He like rolled himself over and was like, "All right, now I'm gonna." He's a weird dude.
He's like down and doesn't get up for one shot, but they're like, I think it was Weeks. Like he did a great job of tracking the puck, even though he was down though, and like makes a save. Like why wasn't he up?
No one knows.
But he made the save. The numbers are not going to be pretty.
So. This 824 obviously doesn't look good. Watching this game...
like his numbers go down tonight, and I come away encouraged.
Yeah, watching this game, he 100% gave the Flyers every opportunity to win this hockey game. There was not a single one of those goals where I was like, ooh, really should have had that. Like you said, maybe the Tavares goal.
The first one, okay.
He seemed like he had a clear sight on it. Maybe he should have come out and cut down the angle a little bit. Maybe, but it wasn't like a Kolosov goal when you're like, oh God, you should have had that goal. Like there was none of that tonight. And honestly, the bar is so low at this point that if we can just get a guy making the saves he ought to make, at this point, I'll take that. And he did that tonight.
And listen, the first 2 goals, Tavares from Matthews and Marner, and then Matthews from Marner and Tavares.
They're good.
I mean, all these guys are over a point a game. Yeah. Well over. Like Matthews is the low man because he's missed a bunch of time.
Right.
And then the third goal is Nyes from Riley and Myers. Like the only...
but Nyes is like on a hot streak, I think, right now.
No, that's 5 goals in 3 games for Nyes.
There you go.
16 on the season. He's really good. You know, it's... I can't... Oh, man, he needs to shut out the Leafs. Maybe.
I mean, that would have been cool, but also
he's
unrealistic.
Not going to.
No, this is another game where it's like...
Goalies gave you a chance.
Yeah, your goalie gave you a chance to win. There were several opportunities. We've outlined a bunch of them where the Flyers could have won this game, and they borked it on the offense. I'm not mad about it. It was a solid game all around from the Flyers. This is not a team meant to beat the Maple Leafs on a regular basis at this stage of the game.
No.
And in 2 games now, they looked pretty darn good against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I'll take that.
And it's like they're 0-1-1, a .250 points percentage, 1 of 4 possible points, and in both games I came away like, yeah, played pretty well.
Bad. Yeah.
And it's again, we are grading the goaltending on the steepest of curves here,
for sure,
because he has an 824 tonight, and we're like, actually,
not
pretty
bad.
Good, pretty good.
Solid night from the goaltender.
This is the question Charlie and I now keep going back and forth with. Mm-hmm. Thursday is the next game, so no back-to-backs. No back-to-backs until, what's that, Saturday against Anaheim, Monday against Florida, and then Tuesday against Columbus. So you're not forced to play Kolosov or whoever. Next game, it's Thursday at home against Dallas. Do you go back to Fedotov or you try to get Coley back in there?
No, I think you ride the hot hand. And right now, Fedotov with an 824 is the hot hand.
3 goals on 17 shots, and it's
the
like
hot hand, baby.
it is the
You
hottest the
gotta keep
goalie
him
has
in.
been all season for us, maybe.
These 2 games are the 2 most
Two
steady
losses.
games. 2 losses to the Maple Leafs, the most steady a goaltender's looked in weeks. I would keep Fedotov in until he gives you a reason to take him out.
And that is also all this changes. Listen, Ersson, we read the quotes in pregame. Sam Ersson said, I don't think it's that bad this time. We saw the Jordan Hall tweet that he's out there on the ice with the extras. He's getting work in with Lixell and Johnson, I think at morning skate today. So we're being told not that bad of an injury. I hope it's not like another aggravation of the original like November 2nd injury, because if it is and it's not that bad, we're gonna get him back out there. It's well, I hope everyone's ready. I hope everyone's ready for him to miss a month again in 2 starts.
Exactly, that's what worries me.
We've been through this twice already. But if he is to come back and healthy, he's going to assume that number 1 role again.
Right.
But man, we played again. We also played those Tortorella quotes in post game or in pregame. He's talking, well, you know, we thought we had more time to develop Ayers, and then the Carter Hart stuff happens, and now we're force feeding Ayers. Maybe we don't have to. Maybe you stick with 3 and get them all in. Maybe you split it even, 33% for all of them. You know,
Why
like
not?
if Ersson is going to be battling injuries, maybe that's who he is. Like, yeah, Michael Neuvert, real good when he's in there, and Ersson has not been good this season, but I've seen him play well in bursts. Maybe who he was when he was a backup working his way up to tandem last year. Like maybe that's the role, 50% or less.
Yeah.
Like he did last year when he had like a 930 from November through January. If that's the case, let's just put him in that role and say that's who you are and see if one of the other 2 guys can kind of be the same thing so we have an actual tandem for a year from now.
Yeah.
Like why, if we're acknowledging, all right, maybe the workload ain't it for Ersson, maybe he's also still a developing player, why go back to him and say you're going to start 70% of the games? That's stupid.
It doesn't make any sense. And also, like, we all know this season
doesn't matter.
Ain't it? Like, we're just doing evaluations. And if we really think Sam Ersson can, at worst, be like a 1B for us, we need his groin to stay together. So it's probably for the best that it's not just a constant cycle of tweak out a week, tweak out a week, tweak out a week, because that seems like what we're falling into until at one point he just completely rips it and now he's out for the rest of the season and needs surgery or whatever. So we don't know what we have in Sam Ersson, really. We're definitely not going to find out if he's hurt all the time. So I would rather see him in fewer games actually playing and healthy, and then also get a little bit of a chance to see what does Fedotov look like when he actually gets some, you know, sustained playing time.
Some play.
Can Kolosov turn it around, or is he actually just not ready and or not good? These are questions that need to be answered, and the only way they're going to be answered is if they're playing. And if you're going to keep all 3 of them on the roster, you might as well play all 3 of them.
And that's, of course, pending like Ersson's return.
Right.
We believe he said, you know, it's not that bad this time.
I mean, they lie about their injuries all the time.
But it's like in his head,
he's fine.
I'm not as hurt as last time, so I can use this time to kind of just build back up and then get myself. But let's just give them all some run.
Yeah, why not?
Let's just kind of go here. But
doesn't hurt anything.
I wouldn't mind if they went back to Kolosov, but they have lost so many games. And again, grading on a steep curve here. But they have lost so many games this year because of goaltending. Yes, they're 0-1-1 in the last 2. But they didn't lose these 2 games because of goaltending.
Correct.
So let's go back to the guy who has given us a chance 2 games in a row. He might get absolutely shelled by Dallas.
Could do.
Very much on the table. Let's see. Let's see if it happens.
And here's the thing. If he does, then pull him and put Kolosov in. Like, all right. Because here's the thing. If you start Kolosov against Dallas, he'll probably get shelled by them too. And based on recent information, he's more likely to get completely rocked by Jason Robertson than Fedotov is. Fedotov, I feel like at least maybe might make a save. I don't think that he's going to like go like this with his glove and the puck goes right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Kolosov just does the stuff where you're like, what are you even doing, dude? How are you missing these pucks?
Do you need glasses? Like,
yeah, I know. Like, yeah. So, yeah. You play Fedotov until you have a reason not to play Fedotov, which is either Ersson coming back or him being so bad that you put Kolosov in.
All right, we have about 19 minutes left tonight. Before we get to all the rest of the stuff, your super chats, I'm going to talk about Joel Farabee's fight.
No Charlie to rescue us.
I want to talk about TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Did all that holiday shopping leave you with a credit card balance that's weighing you down? Well, now think about this. What if you could pay it off faster and with zero interest until 2026? Well, you can, because TrueMark Financial is offering zero interest on balance transfers for 12 months, so all your payments can go towards reducing your balance, not just covering interest. Here's the play. Transfer your existing balance from another institution to a TrueMark Financial Visa credit card and take advantage of this amazing offer. But hurry, you only have until February 28th, 2025 to get this done. So whether you're interested in earning rewards, earning cash back, or simply just prefer a low rate for everyday purchases, with TrueMark Financial, you can choose the credit card that best fits your financial needs. So visit TrueMark.com/compare for full details and apply today. TrueMark Financial, federally insured by the NCUA, equal opportunity lender. Terms and conditions apply. All loans subject to approval. 3% balance transfer fee applies. And while we're here, maybe one of the reasons you're looking for a new credit card is because you're ring hunting. That's right. Take it from somebody who has been through this before. You have no idea what you're doing when you are shopping for an engagement ring. That's why you need to go to the experts at 8th and Chestnut in downtown Philly. Golden Nugget Jewelers, family-owned and operated business since 1987. And if you're getting engaged, they have a wide assortment of rings and wedding bands to fit anyone's style. And you'll receive a final cleaning and written appraisal with every engagement ring purchase. And it's not just wedding jewelry. You can find watches, diamond necklaces, diamond bracelets, earrings, and so much more. Check out Golden Nugget Jewelers, because you deserve an expert and you deserve the best price. Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. Head over to goldennuggetjewelers.com to learn more. All right, Hanks. Joel Farabee. Joel Farabee, I really appreciated him. That's a funny way to say that. Him accepting his fourth line role tonight. We talked pregame.
Yeah.
It is Ryan Reeves in the lineup. We thought maybe, they're looking for retribution on Hathaway. And we did see a couple conversations on faceoffs between Reeves and Hathaway tonight. Mm-hmm. But early in the first period, and Joel Farabee said this in his intermission interview on ESPN, he thought the building was a little quiet. So he challenged, Dewars, to a fight. And he accepted, and he held himself. He did okay. He ate like 3 tough ones, but he hung in there. He threw a few of his own. He did pretty well. I was happy with Joel Farabee fighting tonight.
Shaved head Joel Farabee is terrifying.
He looks like a maniac.
He looks like an insane person. Like, he is, like, if you saw him on the street, you'd be like, I'm gonna cross the street. But shaved head Joel Farabee frightens me. But I do like that he was like, it's too quiet in here. Yeah. I'm going to fight a dude and see what happens.
And he gets himself in the coaches. I think he got himself in the coaches' good graces at least a little bit. He's been on that power play, but he had 2 minutes of power play time tonight. Yeah. He was out there a lot. Listen, he plays the third fewest minutes among the forwards. It's Coots at 10:44, Hathaway at 10:54, and then that's wild. 10:44, 10:54, and then Farabee at 11:54, and that's buoyed by some power play time. But maybe this is him. I'm glad he's not sulking in his fourth line role. Yeah, he's not playing a ton. He's still getting chances on the power play and stuff, but what does that really mean on the Flyers power play?
Right.
This is him accepting his fourth line role and being a team player. I don't know if Joel Farabee factors into the future here, just because it hasn't been going great for him.
No.
He's had his ups and downs with Torts and Torts' usage of him. But whether it's here or elsewhere, we need him producing. He's still not. No points tonight. Did he have? I don't think he had a shot on goal. No shots on goal for Farabee. It's a work in progress with him, but the team's playing well, and if he's got to be a fourth liner, he's got to be a fourth liner, I guess.
Yeah, and also, like, I feel like the onus is on him. Like, he's getting power play time.
Yeah.
Find a way to score on the power play, dude. Like, if you want to get back up in the lineup, you're not getting a ton of opportunities, but you are getting them. And it's on you to make something out of them. And so far, he's not doing that. But like you said, they pointed it out on the broadcast. It seemed like Torts had a little smirk after that fight. Like, maybe he liked it a little bit. So, you know, baby steps.
That's all it comes down to, really. Like, I was hoping it would work with him on the left wing of the Frost and Michkov line. It's like, oh, nice. Hey, look, a lefty playing left wing. What a crazy experience for this top 9, because all of our left wingers are right-handed. And part of that is like Michkov, left-handed, plays the right wing. But like he should be a stylistic fit for what they're doing somewhere in their top 6. One, just being a left-handed left winger. 2, being a guy who can, throughout his career, finish on the rush and finish around the net. It's just not coming together this season, though, and it's very frustrating, but maybe this is the start of something. I'm hoping it's the start of something, because I like Joel Farabee.
Me too.
He was Charlie's guy at that draft. That was our Tavern on Broad draft party.
I think it might have been, yeah.
Yeah, because they drafted 2 Americans, and I remember starting. Well, Jay O'Brien was American, I believe.
Yeah.
And I kept starting USA chants and stuff, but I actually got a DM today. Thanks for crapping on Canada in yesterday's show, because Charlie and I just made a few jokes.
Did you?
We just made a few jokes about, you know, it's like their national export and they can't win a World Juniors. It's like most people in America don't even know what World Juniors is, and we just keep winning it.
Maybe take your best players next time.
Yeah, it would help. Maybe. But I want Joel Farabee to work. Maybe it's just a bad year, but he hasn't flashed in a while.
And I also think that there's like the issue without having any centers, and as a result, not being able to put together any lines except for our third line now, or first line. I don't know, the Kate's line. Except for that line, like there hasn't really been a line that has really, really clicked so much where you're like, wow, I can't take that line apart. And so, you know, maybe it's just like he's kind of like a victim of this jumbly lineup that they can't figure out what parts fit where. And maybe once a couple of guys are moved out or acquired, he'll fall more naturally into a spot that makes sense if he's still here.
Yeah, perhaps. I just see, like, as the chips are falling, like, whole lot of guys are taking advantage of these opportunities. And listen, they're near the bottom of the league in scoring. It's not as if outside of Joel Farabee, this is an offensive juggernaut. Like, that is not the case. But you look at him and Coots, and that's almost $13 million in cap hit playing 10 minutes a night. Tonight they're at 10:44 and 11:54. At a certain point, you're going to move guys out. How wouldn't it be Joel Farabee? Like, unless it's, we just have to make a tough decision because nobody wants him and we need to get another guy, so we have to trade whoever else. How isn't Joel Farabee the odd guy out at this point? They have a lot of wingers. They don't have a lot of left wingers, but the transition to the left side for Forster and Tippett seems to be going relatively well.
Yeah, except for missing open net.
I'm
never going to stop with Owen Tippett.
That was a rough one.
Because I know what you can do, Owen.
Yeah.
Why do you keep letting me down?
And as much as we talk about
do it.
That transition to the left side, like in that instance, being right-handed on the left side works in your favor. You're facing, like you're in that shooting position. Yeah. You're in the Ovechkin spot. But like even closer to the net on that one, he's at like the bottom of the circle. I simply cannot believe he missed that open net. Listen, no overtime, no loser point. I
appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And because if you're of the pro-tank persuasion, losing in regulation helps you out. But damn it, dude. It was a Michkov assist. We want those. It's a real tough balancing act on that one.
Also, I'm just incapable. I was rooting for overtime.
I was as well. No Charlie tonight. Charlie O'Connor is off, so there will be no 3 stars. I'm not going to steal his. I'm not going to steal his bit. I thought about doing
1, 2, 3. Noah Cates.
Yeah, I would go. Real quick. You don't need to do the graphic or anything.
I'm stealing it, Charlie. It's not Bill.
I'm just going to name all Flyers, honestly, because I don't care about the Leafs. 3, I'm going to go Matvei Michkov, career high shots on goal, one of his best games in a long time. Going to go with Matvei Michkov at number 3. Let's go Cates at 2. Picks up the assist. Looked real good tonight. No offense from Forster or Brink, but he still finds a way to contribute with a great forecheck and getting the puck to TK. And then, of course, number 1, Travis Konecny. My God. 21 minutes, 2 goals, +2, 6 shots on net, 2 blocks, 3 hits.
He's a
what
joy
the hell
to
is
watch.
He doing for
He's
you?
a joy to watch on the ice.
2 goals, 21 minutes, 6 shots, 2 blocks, 3 hits.
It's wild.
What isn't he doing for you? Travis Konecny, first star. All right, Brenna, let's hit those super chats.
Oh,
All right,
wow,
looks
we
like
got
we have a decent number of them tonight. So we go to Chasing the Puck. Bill got the belt. We might need to get Vince a Cates jersey.
That would be funny.
Yeah, it would be funny.
It would be funny.
Christmas.
But he was like, he's an anti-Cates guy.
That's
Vince
why it would be
is.
funny.
Yeah, that would be very funny.
But he said the other day he's coming around.
I mean, how can you not? Listen, I was all for
He's a
just being
reasonable
like,
man. He can watch.
I was all for being like, all right, yeah, Cates is a nice bottom 6 guy, a forechecker, 4th liner.
Yeah,
How
but
many of them do we need? But we're all coming around on Noah Cates, hoping he keeps this up.
Me too.
Listen, obviously the top problem is 1C. That's what they need. They need a star center to put with Michkov, or at least to put with TK. Like, they need someone in that role.
Somebody
who is
playing center.
a legitimate point per game or better player.
Better than Morgan Frost.
Better than, I mean, Noah Cates is better than Morgan. But you also need a 2nd and 3rd center. Like, they need all these things, especially looking at the way Sean Couturier is trending. Noah Cates is at least filling one of those 3 open spots.
And
they
very
have
well. Yeah.
3 center spots, in my mind, completely up for grabs. Obviously, one of them is going to go to Jet Luchenko unless they use him in like a trade or something. But they love him. I don't think they will. Yeah, if he's involved in the Patterson trade, cool.
All right.
But, sure, why not? But he is filling one of those spots right now. And what the hell else can we ask from a dude that I'd kind of written off last season?
Not much.
All right, from my favorite W. Boro goal. How long do we need to evaluate
Great
Z
question.
for?
He looked good. I mean, he had some good.
He's been better
plays
lately.
tonight.
I think since
He's not been bad, but he's just not as good as Andre.
And he's just nowhere near the ceiling of Emil Andre.
Right.
Like, maybe right at this minute, and I don't think so, but maybe right at this minute, he, even without being a power play guy or being a legitimate puck-moving threat, he brings you some sort of better, steadier, more consistent all-around game. Okay, maybe. But he does not have the ceiling of Emil Andre.
No.
And that's kind of the frustration right now with Zamula, is like, the way we were talking about Cates and all that before, what is he really going to be when this team is good?
Yeah.
If he's your 7, dope.
Cool.
But if you can't draft or find on the scrap heap 6th or 7th defenseman, who's evaluating the talent? Like, that's a failure of evaluation if we can't find a guy to fill ultimately what I think he's going to be.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they're so invested in him. Like, I mean, I get it. You drafted him, you developed him, but I think what we see is what he is, which means he's like a fine bottom pair guy and a pretty solid 7. Better 7 than Eric Johnson.
Yeah.
But Emil Andre is probably better than that.
He could be a 3. Like,
yeah, so why not, move this guy along a little bit? See what he's got.
I've been listening a lot to the Jeff Marek podcast, and he makes one point over and over again. I've never heard of a player who was hurt by too much time in the AHL. I don't think it's ultimately going to kill Emil Andre to be spending a few extra months in the American League, rounding out his game, being up against guys who aren't considerably better than him. But I want to watch him.
Me too.
But
this is about us.
It's not going to happen right now because I think Yegor Zamula is playing at least okay, if not better.
Well, that's the thing. He's not playing poorly
He's
enough.
not playing himself out of the lineup.
Exactly, yeah.
The way it was before. It was like, we have to sit this guy. They don't want to, but they can't keep playing him. He has kind of gotten over whatever the hell the problem was earlier in the season.
Yeah, he's looked pretty solid.
If he's solid, they're not going to take him out because they like him. they want to keep evaluating him. How much longer? I can't tell you that.
Who can say?
But Charlie keeps telling us they like him. And I mean, it's obvious because they keep playing him.
Yeah.
All right, this next one here from, what's that say? Kate Alt. Nothing important to say, just really like you guys. That's the most important thing to say.
Kate.
As we all know, I'm an egomaniac, and I love appreciation, so thank you very much.
Compliments make me uncomfortable, but I also like them.
Yeah. That's your brand, Hinkle. Your brand is being made uncomfortable by people telling you how good you are at this. From our pal JH. All right, from JH. Too bad Comcast won't be banging down the door of Gary's office. Gary's office demanding an explanation for that crap no call on the cross-check.
Yeah.
Like Ed Snyder would have. I wonder.
Ed Snyder picked his battles. I don't know if Ed Snyder would have allowed us to draft Matvei Michkov.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I think it's going to be handled differently because Snyder was a lot like Tortorella. He's a lot like us fans.
Yeah.
Like maybe if he had some time to think about it, he'd be like, oh, that was a bad idea. But in the moment, he would have been on the phone, you know.
Yeah.
Jonesy,
I feel like,
he's got a different tact. And I don't know if he's doing this at all. Like this isn't any sort of information, but like the way I picture it going is him just being like, Gary, you got to see this happening, right? Like
you saw that, right, buddy?
We're one of your premier teams, right, Gary? Like this has happened to our guy.
Yeah, Keith's a little smoother about it.
When we're good, we're going to be at like 105% attendance, kind of helping pay for every other team in this league that isn't based in Canada or New York.
Don't you want us to be good,
So
Gary?
Maybe help us keep this dude healthy.
Yeah.
Just a thought. All right, another one here from JH. Can Comcast buy the NHL building and evict them? I mean, Comcast can buy whatever they want. They could buy the country if they wanted to.
I was going to say they could buy literally everything.
Yeah, so
and all of us, which they might have already done.
Who's to say?
Yeah.
You know, they might be my boss and I don't even know it. As far as I know, they're
I don't know if the NHL owns that building in Manhattan. They're probably just renting.
I would be shocked.
Yeah.
That would
probably just renting.
It would really surprise me, honestly.
So maybe they buy the building from the NHL's landlord, kick them out that way.
Could be. That's the way to go about it. From Timbo Slice, Toronto gift wrap calls like it's second Christmas.
They did get a few.
They got a few tonight. Yeah. Listen, where do reviews go? And that Michkov didn't go in. That Michkov didn't go in.
It didn't.
But whenever we're playing the Leafs and it's like, all right, we're going to go to the league review. I'm like, oh, I wonder how this is going to go.
Yeah.
I wonder how this is going to go. But
I'm sure none of those guys had Leafs pajamas when they were children.
I don't honestly think there's any implicit bias for the Leafs because honestly, it would be the most NHL thing ever for there to be and them not having having won a cup since expansion.
They've been trying so hard to give it to the Leafs, and the Leafs are like, we just can't.
Actively trying, and they haven't been able to do it.
We
since
can't
the
get
60s.
out of the second round. Help us.
Since the 60s.
Right? Yeah.
That would be very funny.
It would be very funny.
But it was just that. If that doesn't make your blood boil, you're not emotionally invested.
Correct.
That cross check.
It was infuriating.
Like. After the whistle, cross-check, blatant, in front of everyone, as obvious as could be, nothing. That's just, that's not a missed call. That's an ignored call purposefully.
You explicitly said, no, we're not calling that blatant penalty.
All right, and one from our pal Nate Rudolph out in Denver. Nathan Rudolph says, have the Flyers considered teaching a bunch of wings to take faceoffs and not just YOLOing it? It's what the Avs do behind McKinnon.
Interesting.
Michkov won an offensive zone faceoff tonight when you would guess it, their center got kicked out on the power play again. Maybe that's what they need to do. I know they've tried it with Farabee. They've tried it with a couple of different guys over the years.
Maybe Sean Couturier's role on this team now is to teach everyone how to win faceoffs.
It would be an improvement. All right.
We don't have Claude
thank
anymore.
you to everyone watching us live on TV. Really appreciate the TV audience. For more of the show, go to allphly.com. And really, all that's left of the show is to say thank you to everyone else who's watching as well. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, you got to hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on the YouTube page. Make sure you hit that reminder bell. Never miss a live show. It'll be the two of us plus Philly's #1 beat writer, Charlie O'Connor, joining us tomorrow live at 4 o'clock. So tune in for that. And everyone who listened to yesterday's show knows we have some fun stuff planned for Hinkle. I'm going to try to change her mind about something using one of her all-time favorite hockey players' own words. All right, follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers and follow the podcast as well. Wherever you get those, just search PHLY Flyers. My name is Bill Matz. That is Kelly Hinkle. Until 4 o'clock tomorrow, let's go Flyers.
Y'all city like the mayor.